Hello guys, and what's going on? Okay, so in this one I'm going to show you what are variables, how to use them, how to create them, and why we actually use variables. So let me create my file. Let me simply call it vars.php. There you go. I think you're tired of that already, right? Okay. So what are basically variables? A variable is basically a data container. Okay, nearly everything you see on on web pages are basically variables. I would say it, some of them variables, but some are not, because actually databases values are hold or are handled as arrays, which is in a way is a variable. Okay, but we'll talk about them later. But think of a variable, for just a better explanation or a more simpler explanation, as a box. If you have a box, you can leave it empty like that, or you can put something into it. You can give that box to the user. He can put something into it. He can just leave it like that, empty. Just a simple explanation. Think of it as a box for handling stuff. Okay, and variables can hold a lot of data types. There are basically 8, I would say, but we're not going to talk about them in this video. Okay, we will leave that for another video. Today we are looking into variables. Okay, so let me just create my first variable right there. Basically, for creating variables in PHP, this is kind of the PHP way of creating variables. This way is just for PHP, is writing or starting the variable name with a $sign. If you don't start with a $sign, it will trigger an error. And after the $sign, you can put any you can put any character you want, or this dash, this dash sign. But you cannot use, after the $sign, you cannot use any number or any sign, any sign except the dash sign right there. Okay, so if we go ahead and our first variable, let's call it user name, and we need to assign it. So to assign it, we're going to use the equal sign, and we can assign it to whatever data type we want. Okay, for strings, as you may know, you can use double columns or single columns as you like. Okay, let's say username Ahmad 123. Now let's end this with a semicolon, and this is basically a variable, a simple variable. If we want to echo this, or we need to use it just an echo, I can echo and this, and use the variable name to echo it. Okay, we're going to end this with a semicolon and go to our browser right there, and the name, and you can see right there it's this easy to do variables or to create variables. If you want to create some else, some other variable or a second variable, you can set this to number, and we can use any number we want. And for numbers, we don't actually need to use we shouldn't use these quotes right there, the single or the double quotes, or it will consider it as a string. So if we go like this and try to echo it out, just like that, I'm going to just echo a BR right there, so you can make it readable. If we refresh, you can see the 8, it's just right there. So this is a string, this is a number. The two of them are basically symbol data types. Okay, symbol values, symbol data types as values or whatever. Okay, so this is basically it for variables. So one other thing I want to point out about variables, they are case sensitive. Okay, variables are case sensitive, which means this one right there, this number right there, will be different from, you know, the capital form of it. Let's set this to 9, and if I go ahead, let me just copy this real quick. If I go ahead and copy this, it will print out this one, it will equal out this one. If I go ahead, there is, you know, 9 right there. So this is basically different from this. So variable names are case sensitive, and that means they're treated differently based on, you know, the it's capital or not capital, based on the form of them. So this is it for variables, and yeah, thanks for watching.